Good morning, it's Devorah. It's InStory Live, and it's a different forest edition. I'm in a different forest in Portland, and it's one of my most favorite forests. I'm going to show you. It's just in a different neighborhood, and it has a beautiful creek that's very full right now because we've had rain. It's winter, and it's just another completely wondrous, magical place, and it has a lot of fond memories. When we first moved to Portland, we lived in the neighborhood right near this forest, and I was remembering when my children were babies, walking with them in a backpack in this forest, and remembering how much joy it brought to me and to my girls, who are, of course, now 18 and 22. And the forest is still here, just as beautiful, in some ways ever-changing and just the same. And one of the profound messages I recently experienced standing in the forest, many of us who just love the trees and feel so connected to nature can feel that sense of, like, the metaphor of being a tree, of being rooted in the earth, of growing, of having branches bearing fruit. And I remember that day standing there thinking, I am a tree, but I'm also the forest. And the forest is vast and enduring. And that even when there are fires and floods and seasons and all kinds of things, the forest is still whole and beautiful. And so it is with us. Hi, Kay. And so it is with us, like that I'm both the tree and the forest. And I am repeating this message as I come back to this forest where I began my forest walks in Portland, Oregon, over 20 years ago. And it's still just as beautiful as it was. Thank God nobody, it's a protected forest, so nobody has come and cut it down to turn it into houses, which does happen sometimes. But if you leave the forest to its own devices as part of nature, it takes care of itself. It regenerates. It comes back, and that's true for us. Stuff happens, and we grow back. We have that sense of being both the tree and the forest. We might have a phase that's winter. Okay, so spring will come next. It's fine. The seasons are such a powerful, visceral reminder of our growth and of cycles, and that we grow back. And it's tremendously healing and uplifting to tune into that. And so I wanted to just take a moment and bring you into this more expanded awareness of wholeness, that your beauty is not diminished and your value is not diminished because of the hard moments that you encounter, because that's just part of life. It's part of growth, and in the human way of thinking about things, it's really that idea that we come here to grow. We don't come here to stay the same or to all be the same. Like, there's all different kinds of trees and all kinds of different stages of growth. So, I was listening recently to a conversation about how can we value each other without expecting each other to be the same. Being the same isn't the thing. It's respecting each other where you are, in your own growth, in your own development, and doing the same for ourselves. Not being so hard on ourselves, because many of us, we are really good at that. We are really good at being very hard on ourselves. So it's a beautiful day here in Portland in the winter, which is kind of rare, and this is a very popular trail. So there are definitely more people on this trail than my other trail. So you may hear some passerbys that I'm passing. And so I want you to take a moment and feel that you are bigger than one tree, right? That you are more like a forest, and how wondrous that is. I really remember that moment when I was standing in one of my favorite places where I specifically do the blessings from the trees. And I really was like, it was an energetic shift when I heard that message. You are the tree, but you are also the forest. And if you really take that in and allow yourself to feel that, it changes the way you respond to the events of the world around you and to the events in your life. You have more capacity. You have more capacity to stay whole and weather the ups and downs of what happens, and weathering the weather, so to speak. Right? And allowing yourself the grace to grow. And the other thing that, Kay, you and I were talking about this, and that is so important, is to notice our progress. Because they're just like the forest and the world, just like everywhere that has cycles of seasons, so do we. And it's extremely important to notice that in the process of growth, there is always fall down, get up. And hi, Nancy. There's always fall down, get up. The important thing to notice is that we don't fall down as easily, as far, as hard, or for as long. And we get up with so much more grace and ease than we used to. And it's so important to recognize this, because if you don't, you're going to beat yourself up harder. But if you go, wow, look, that was really hard, but I'm out of it already in a day. So notice your progress. Feel more expanded. Feel the sense of gratitude and grace for who you are and the blessings of your life. And when we see it bigger, when I do my guided process, in the first step, I always say, breathe yourself bigger. And there are lots of ways of thinking about that. That are meaningful and significant, and I use how I teach with metaphor all the time. So today I want your breathe yourself bigger to be about the forest. The forest is bigger than any one tree, right? And so if you are the forest, you are bigger than one tree. Here's one of my favorite sites. This is a stump that I have loved and appreciated for many years, and it has its own personality to me that I love and cherish, and it's been there for a long time. It used to be a tree, now it's a stump with its own unique beauty, and I just love that. And the things often that are very beautiful are flawed in some way, and it's that flaw that makes it beautiful. And of course that's true for us. It's all our flaws and all our stumbles that make us unique, that give us wisdom and allow ourselves to pass that wisdom on to another. So as we move into Christmas and we move into the new year, take some time to feel grace, to feel gratitude, to appreciate the gifts of who you are, what you've been given, what you're able to give, what you've been given, and what you are able to give. It's very meaningful to give. And so take some time to feel the blessings of your being, the blessings of your life. And if you are someone who comes upon this video at any time and you are feeling a sense of being called to something more, then reach out to me, or just put, type more into the comments or something like that, because there's something really happening now with a lot of women that I speak with, this feeling of being called to something more, having kind of a soul calling that is an aspect of who you are and what you have to bring into the world that hasn't had a turn, kind of. Like it hasn't been, like for a lot of, like someone I just spoke with, she's expressed her creativity, but she hasn't led with her spiritual perspective. And for a lot of people, they haven't led with their creative selves or their intuitive selves. That often we have an aspect of ourselves that to us is deeply rewarding and meaningful and moving and valuable, and we don't lead with it and we don't share it. So if that's you, reach out to me, because that is the work I do now with the InStory way. I help people move through the stages I call shift, shape, and share, to shift out of the old story, the old limiting beliefs, and to begin to tap into that flow, that intuition, that creativity, and shape it into something that you can share with the world. And this is so deeply fulfilling, and I believe it is being asked of us, especially our tribe, who are my tribe. It's mostly women over 50, some exceptions, but we are being called to this more, and we have tremendous gifts to share, tremendous wisdom and insight and intuitive ability and creative ability to bring something new forward from our life experience to help the next person. So I want us to do this. It's my mission, it's my passion. And if you are feeling this soul calling, you can book a free soul story session with me, and I will help set you on your way to give you some insights as to how to go about doing that. It's such meaningful work, and we are being called to do our meaningful work. So that is what I want for you. You can go to my website, which is just my name, DevorahSpilman.com, and book a session there. There's even a site called soulstorysession.com where you can find me. Don't wait. Don't stay stuck in the spin cycle. If you know you have a story to write, to share, and you have been wanting to do it for a long time and you are not doing it, do not wait anymore. I guarantee I can get anybody unstuck and out of the spin cycle, because that is one of my specialties and one of my gifts. So allow yourself to trust that if you're feeling called, you will receive the help and guidance you need. And reach out to me. I would love to talk to you if I haven't talked to you already. And if I have, take this as inspiration to trust that soul calling. Feel that you are bigger than the tree. This is for those of you who I've spoken with. Know you are not just the tree alone. You are a forest. Not only are you a tree in a forest, you are a forest. And then you also deserve to be a tree in a forest with other beautiful, like-minded tree souls to share the way with you. So I hope this will inspire you. If you are celebrating Christmas and watching this on Christmas Eve when I'm recording it, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. And if you're watching it at any other time, open yourself to the calling of your soul. Trust that calling and take a step forward. All right? I hope you are inspired. I hope you are feeling a little soul nourishing and enjoying a little bit of the shared beauty of this wonderful forest path. And as I always say in farewell, remember to go out in the world, share your story, live your purpose, and be a blessing. Bye, folks.